Waking up, I smell the coffee in the air. Stocks opening today, I'm gon' drink. If you can't take no risks, how you gon' learn how it feels like to be financially stable, physically able to enjoy the finer things in life? Look at me, man, I'm living like a dream. To get ahead in life, you gotta grind. You gotta use what you have to survive.
It's been said by a number of experts that lumber stocks actually are sort of a leading indicator about what's going to happen in a market. And evidently, if you look at some of the experts, what they say is over the last 100 years, when lumber stocks have tumbled, so have all others. And so being that, we knew that pretty much everything since April had already taken a dive except for lumber stocks, that was sort of our next look into these, 3 trades from 2 to 100,000. And of course, a lot of these stocks like Boise Cascade and Weyerhaeuser, there isn't a lot of options as far as interest goes. However, being $30 in the money on a particular, $20 plus in the money on a particular stock is not a bad thing to do, especially riding that to expiration. And so we knew in looking at some of these things that it was just a matter of time before we had this massive dive in the lumber stocks. And here's what I mean by that. If we look at the weekly chart, this is Boise Cascade, and they all look kind of similar. We had actually seen that back in the beginning of June, end of May, this trend was massively exhausted on the weekly chart. One of the highest it's ever been. You can see when it gets pushed up here on really any time frame is when you start to see the drops happen. The other thing that was very significant to us that was very blatantly obvious was that you could see here that money on the weekly time frame was massively, you can see it coming down right here. And so we knew that people were basically selling and leaving the asset because, you can either have money going into something or coming out of something, and then you have basically this offset. And that's what we had here. You can see that momentum was clearly coming down, yet price actually was coming up and money was definitely coming down. And so we can see that if we drill down into lower time frames as well. You can see we kind of got pushed up again here, but we had been rejected here on the daily and the weekly many times in the past. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There's over 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 days rejected at this level, at this weekly and this daily level. In fact, we pushed up to this high, which was this previous wick here, and this candle here, and this one here. So this is probably now a good strong daily level for resistance. But if we were to scroll down into a lower time frame, this was very clear what was happening. And you can see here that money, we're waiting for a level. We have our alert set. We now have money clearly coming down, but more or less we had momentum. Look at this. Momentum was getting lower, but yet price, you could see at this level, was coming up. So we definitely have a pretty large bearish divergence and offset here, an imbalance that needs to get addressed and resolved. And so here we go. If we look at that from this area, which was the first week of June, this is June 8th, down to this 786, even if you just were to measure the golden pocket, we knew that we were looking at least a 25% drop is what we kind of felt was realistic for this particular stock and all these other related wood producers. And so that's actually what we got. We got almost a 30% drop in the market on this, much like other stocks had already dropped 30% or more. And now we have gotten sort of a little bit of a bounce here at and near the 786, which also is close to a daily level over here. And we'll have to, let me see, we'll have to mark some of these other ones out here on the stock. But basically, in looking at this, we also have a couple other things that we'll point out here, which is in this area, we have some other high value nodes. You can clearly see over here, this is a pretty large one here at $56, which We slightly dropped below and was quickly, I think, kind of bought up near this level, if I recall. Well, not too quickly. So this is a 4-hour candle. But yeah, if we go back and we look at the nodes even too, we did have some high value nodes here right in this area and up here as well at $59, which seems to have temporarily reclaimed. So it'll be interesting to see sort of, where we end up coming up to as far as resistance goes. We can pull some fibs actually as well. So the first one we'll be looking at, Boise Cascade, is $62 to $236, followed by $67 at the 382, and likely up in this area at $70 if we can reclaim those. But I just want to point that out to you. Supposedly some of the experts say when the lumber-related stocks start to tumble, as does the rest of the market, as these guys are usually a leading indicator. But this was a huge move. I mean, this was, again, on the options price, more than $20 in the money, basically, and about a 30% move down. If this is something that you want to learn to do, this is super simple. So why we call it super simple trades. We wait for a level. We look for bullish and bearish divergence. We use a number of other indicators and things that we have, and we're involved in multiple groups. Then definitely join us. Feel free to make requests on any stocks or crypto, and we're happy to accommodate any of those kind of things and mark charts. We provide the charts for you, and it's very simple, easy to follow along. We believe in just 15 minutes a day that you have the ability to create a secondary income. Make sure you always consult with your financial advisor, but make it fun. Live your life. Have a great time. And again, how we can go from $2,000 to $100,000 in just 3 trades by catching some significant moves in a few stocks in the marketplace is definitely doable for absolutely anyone out there.
People in your circle with drive. Make sure your inner beast is out in the field of play. It's no jokes, no games, super simple.